What is liquidity? At the base of it all, we need to understand this. When you are buying a stock or when you are selling a stock, there is someone on the other side of things. Someone who's going to say, okay, I'll buy it from you, or okay, I'll sell it to you. Whenever you buy something, there has to be someone on the other end willing to sell something. Now, banks and institutions like to play this game as well. And an institution may say, I want 100,000 of this stock, this Bitcoin, whatever it is, futures, you name it. But retail may only say, we only have 10. This is the retail group. We only have 10 to sell. So the bank can't buy, the institution can't buy 100,000. But there are 100,000 out there, and there's actually way more. And retail is willing to sell at a certain point, usually out of fear. This is known as the liquidity pool. These are where the resting orders lay. So let's do a quick example. Say there's a stock or price, whatever, Bitcoin. If price is going up and down and it makes this low right here, the sellers may say, well, if it gets below there, I'm going to be a little fearful and I might sell because I don't want to lose any more money. So they're going to sell out of fear if it goes below there. So price goes below there, and finally they're all selling because they're scared they don't want to lose any more money. And the bank says, finally, it's time to buy. The institution buys up all the 100,000. They buy everything that the sellers were willing to share or willing to sell. And they now control a significant amount of units. And there are very few people left willing to sell. This is what's called sellers in control. This is when there is a buy-sell imbalance. All of these people now sold, so buyers and sellers are like this. It reached that price, and all these sellers sold, and so now there's way less people willing to sell, but the buyers are still up here. So now there's this imbalance in price, and when there's few sellers and a lot of buyers, that's when price moves, so price will go up. So in this example, the buyers are still up here, and they say, we want to buy it. And now, institutions, whatever you name it, they will say, no, but I'll sell it to you up here. This is the price difference. This is how there's money being made. So they want to buy it down here. They say no, and since sellers are in control, there is an imbalance. There are way more buyers. This person in specific may say, well, I'm not going to buy it there. But there's so many that there's someone up there who says, fine, I'll buy it at the high price. I just want it. So price moves. And then that is where profit is made. Because price moved, institutions, whatever you name it, they bought it at that low out of fear from the other group of people. When price drove up, they were able to sell it for a higher price and make profit. This is a phenomenal chart. It's a great example. This is a chart of Bitcoin, and it is called a liquidity heat map. So in this example, these yellow and greenish lines, they represent resting orders. They represent where liquidity is lying. So right here at this level, we see this kind of bluish greenish line. That is where there's a lot of resting orders. So there might be a lot of sellers out there who are saying, if it gets below this line, I'm kind of nervous it's going to go lower. I don't want to lose any more of my money. I'm just going to sell. I'm going to get out. And that's when institutions, whoever the buyers, say, okay, well, we'll buy it all right here. So then they buy it, and then now there's this imbalance because all these sellers were waiting for this point, and all the sellers are now depleted. All of these resting orders have been taken. So now it's been bought up, and the sellers are in control. So they can say, well, we'll just wait and sell higher. And that's when we see this price change, this price movement, and we see price kind of rally and drive itself up. And then they can sell and get out at a higher price, and then that's how they make money. And this works in both directions. At its base example, liquidity is just resting orders. It relies on fear and greed of retail, per se. And it can happen at the top, too. At the bottom, people are afraid when price goes lower, it breaks through a floor, and so they sell because they don't want to lose any more money. But when we break one of these top blue lines, people get greedy. They get fear of missing out, and all these people are waiting to buy if it gets above there because like there's no way it's going to get above there. We need to buy now, and there's a lot of liquidity, a lot of resting orders at that price point because they're like, oh shoot, we're going up, we need to buy now, and that becomes a liquidity pool as well. So really at its base, liquidity is just resting orders.